I find it really hypocritical to have people come before you and say, I stand with the firefighters. We have to be with you. And then they don't vote to fund the Department of Homeland Security. No member of the House, no member of the Senate should ever, ever deny you the funding you need to do your job.
And the best of Irish luck to you, Senator. Congressman, I should say. That was Republican Congressman Peter King of New York speaking at a forum hosted by the International Association of Firefighters yesterday. And when it comes to issues of national security, Congressman King has been an outspoken critic of his own party. But he didn't just slam fellow Republicans for attempting to defund the Department of Homeland Security. He took on some big-name contenders for the Republican nomination for president in 2016 as well. Here's what King had to say about Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky.
I mentioned Rand Paul. Now, he's concerned about drones. He's afraid the CIA might use drones to attack Americans drinking coffee in Starbucks. Now, and he gave a filibuster on the Senate floor talking about this. Now, if you were the head of ISIS and you were going to plan something against the United States and you wanted to do a background check on who the president was, and you found out that he thought the real threat was the CIA attacking Americans at Starbucks, would you really be that afraid to attack the United States?
Anyway, and Congressman also had some choice words for Senator Ted Cruz of Texas as well.
Then we have Ted Cruz, who believed that if the government should be shut down a year and a half ago. And he went on the Senate floor and read Dr. Seuss. Again, do you really want a commander-in-chief who thinks the way to run the government is to read Dr. Seuss on the Senate floor and shut down the United States government? No, we need responsible adults.
I'm joined right now by some responsible adults. Around the table includes Dana Milbank of the Washington Post, Jamel Bowie of Slate, and also former United States Senator from Arkansas, Blanche Lincoln. Senator, I love that. I love it when Peter King brings out the Tommy gun and just mows down these guys. And they are in the clown car, so it doesn't bother me. I mean, Cruz, you know, demagoguery is not a great career move, okay? And the other guy, Rand Paul, he has the interest that a lot of people in their 20s have right now. Government surveillance is the big problem in their life. Somebody's going into my email is more important than fighting these wars. Your thoughts?
Well, welcome to the primary season. I mean, that's what this is. And I think that, you know, anybody, whether it's those that are running in the primary or want the position, or whether it's those that are trying to assist in some way, it's going to all be about sensationalism. He was looking for some good things to say to those firefighters to get them all excited and ginned up, and I think that's exactly what he was doing.
Jamel, what happened to the 11th commandment Ronald Reagan once postulated, which you should say, speak no evil of a fellow Republican? I think he was. I liked it.
I mean, I think, you know, the people he was attacking are part of the people who kind of made that commandment moot, right? Like Ted Cruz has had no compunction about criticizing.
Well said. Explain that, because people don't know him. He went around looking for incumbents to knock off.
Right, exactly. You know, he's aligned himself with a group of other Republicans whose entire reason for existing is to knock off other Republicans and get more conservative Republicans elected. And in that kind of environment, the gloves are off. You know, Peter King's just like, you guys are gonna come at me, I will come at you.
Okay, here's the Republican Party, which has historically been ever since ever since the Cold War, the Hawk Party. You know, you can disagree, but generally the hawkish party. Can they still get street cred for being able to protect people in this country if they shut down Homeland Security with impunity, and actually do it for sport? They do it to make points.
Well, that's exactly what Peter King is talking about. As a Long Island native, I'm proud of him, and I think he's done us well.
Can you give us some accents from Long Island?
I could do it a little bit after the show. Peter King is what Republicans used to be. He's hawkish. He's law and order. He's no nonsense. And you fund the things in government you need to do. You fight terrorists.
You're getting there.
You don't play games with drones.
Yeah, that's right.
You don't play games with.
Well, you explain the dichotomy. Why do you think Republicans don't feel that, you know, defending the country involves more than ever defending here?
But Peter King is a non-ideological Republican in that sense, that I think Ted Cruz wants to starve the beast, so he doesn't really care what the ramifications are. And Rand Paul is so concerned about his libertarian base that he's not seeing the bigger picture here. So in a way, Peter King is a blast from the past, and you see him surface every now and then. He did it with Hurricane Sandy, too.
I had a sense last week that when Netanyahu was all the buzz around here, that he went right up to the edge. I don't care about morally, he shouldn't have ever been invited, but politically he went right up to the edge, and he did okay. He probably made the Republicans happy. They were glad they did it. I don't think they're glad they did the 47 senators.
No. I think
they went past their smarts with that one.
I have seen no one among regular people, people on my Facebook, people I talk to.
Where do you go to find them?
People I talk to from where I grew up. I see no one who is happy about this.
The 47 letters.
The 47 senators sent the letter. Everyone I've talked to sees this as just like a violation. This
sedition.
Is something you don't do. Maybe not treason or sedition, but certainly.
How about the Logan Act? Look up that baby, because I read it the other night. It does specifically violate it. No, specifically violate it. Anyway, let me ask you about this other weird thing. Not all Republicans are crazy, and not all Democrats are consistent, Blanche Lincoln. I'm looking at Menendez, who's got his own troubles, obviously. He wants to go. He basically is a hawk beyond hawk about Iran. You know, no deals, no. I'm not going to let anything go by. And yet he wants to put all kinds of restrictions on fighting ISIS. The American people want to fight ISIS to some way. They don't want more restrictions. What they want a restriction is we're not going to war with Iran. How does he have this dichotomy? Is this politics? Could it be? Could it be politics? It's okay to be for fighting Iran because, you know, it's pretty good, healthy in terms of fundraising and things like that. It makes you popular with some people, some hawks. But nobody really wants to go into ISIS in the big shot community. That seems to be the case.
Well, I mean,
big fundraisers are not for war with ISIS, but they are very hawkish about Iran. That's a fact.
I think it's pretty dangerous to play with any of this through a political effort, and I think a lot of what happened in that letter was just that. And I think it's also the same.
Who do you think wrote it? Is that too nasty to think that Tom Cotton didn't write it?
Well, yeah.
He's a freshman. He's 2 weeks in the Senate practically, or 3 weeks, right? I mean, and he's knocking out letters, and 47 guys are signing them. That's pretty fast moving.
He's no Blanche Lincoln, but the guy went to Harvard, and he can put a letter together. And the fact is, the letter shows.
He also went to Iraq and Iraq. I mean, Iraq and Afghanistan. And you know, he deserves the credit for serving. I mean, there are many who have not.
Well, that's one hell of a co-sponsorship. 47.
It is, but I also think that it was, again, just a sensational type of situation where a lot of those people that signed that letter know that the Senate has a responsibility to advise and consent, and their time will come. There will be a right time, but these negotiators are working towards peace, and I hope that they will look and see that peace is the objective.
The Republicans who didn't sign it, anyway.
7 of them.
Yeah, well, we need 7. We need 7 could change the universe around here. Anyway, the roundtable's staying with us. Up next, here's a fight. Jeb Bush is feeling the heat. Hearing the footsteps, Scott Walker's coming on. He's becoming the front runner. They don't like it. The Bush people are attacking him. Big surprise. Both camps are going at it. That's ahead. This is Hardball, the place for politics.